Okay.
Hey, so, all right. So I've seen the film. It's funny, it's humorous. There's never a dull moment. It's engaging. I loved it. My first question is about the mother-daughter dynamics. Now, the relationship between Jamie and her mother is explosively funny. They are at each other's throats. I mean, there's a lot of tension. It's very humorous. I want to ask, like, all of you, like Gemma and all of you can come in. Uh, you know, uh, was this more about pushing the dynamic towards absurd comedic extremes? And what was the thought process behind it? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for the kind words with the film. The thought process behind the mother-daughter dynamic, I think, was just trying to elevate the truth of what Susan wrote. And like, I think the mother-daughter dynamic is something that I really related to, and I could see many of the moms and daughters in my life in these two. So it was mostly for me trying to just like keep that very present and very active. And also these two had such a chemistry between each other that there was very little I had to do to bring that out for sure.
All
Well,
right.
it was fun to fight.
It was so fun to fight.
Yeah.
We had so much fun. We had guys who were like giving us our moves, and then we were like,
Oh, yeah.
how will we do this?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
For me as a mom, I think that I really related to the character as a mother, just wanting their daughter to be the best she can be, and being disappointed in her, and feeling like it's my fault, but not wanting to say that or admit to it. There were so many levels within this mother to play, and all of them I feel that I have felt as a mother. So, and I think with that truth that you get the most comedy from it. So, does that help?
All right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that does help. Yeah. So now about that more than helps. That's a really good answer. So, I mean, so Jamie seems to have a talent for making the worst possible decision in every situation. It's almost like a comedy of bad decisions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and this somehow the viewer roots for her. You really want her to get the home that she longs for. So again, my question is for Susan. Like, what was it like playing her? Again, it's a very open-ended question, but like, I mean, you can just say what you want to say about that.
Great question. Because it was like I got to fantasize about all the things that I would like to do and then write them and then play them. So it was amazing. So I got to do all these kind of crazy things, but then I got to also mine into deeper moments. So it was I was like there was no blueprint for it. So it was really just like have at it, go for it, go as extreme as possible. And then all of these other characters that I had written, the actors came in. This cast, which is an incredible cast, came in, and every single character suddenly was like 800 times more vibrant and more hilarious and had more pathos than I could have even imagined when I was, sitting on my laptop. So the entire thing, and of course, this whole thing started with Jenna and I together. So I'm plodding along, but she was guiding me the entire time. So it was really like, it was an absolute dream come true. Like we had 16 days to shoot this, which is
Okay.
short, yeah. And so it was like we were going constantly, but Mel never had us coming in before 8 a.m., which is insane. Starting at 8 a.m. So it was like this, you had a little bit of sunshine in the morning on your own. So I'm really going off the question here, but this is important. Like it was just it was incredible. I mean, it's not off question because it's actually the experience was amazing. So the experience of playing her, the experience of playing her with everyone, of writing her, of um, getting the entire thing, and then actually hitting the ground running was incredible.
Yeah, I'm sure. And there's also a lot of punk rock energy in the film, like with, Jamie and Danger Davy, is it? Like, just correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
David Danger.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, what was it like filming some of those crazy scenes in the van? I mean, they're arguing at one point, at another point, they're just going at it. I mean, there's a lot of punk rock energy. So, how did you channel that? Yeah.
I'm sorry, were you asking me?
I mean, yeah, of course, you
Yeah,
and of course,
about like doing the crazy stuff we did in the van and
Well, it was pretty crazy because Sue got me on off season, so I was pretty much rolled myself onto set. And then but Sue's killer. Sue is the shit. And I didn't know Robin. I met her at the airport before the night before, but I didn't know like what a goer she was. And like honestly,
In a good way.
it is a great way. And I know some of the scenes like got chopped, but we shot the first thing. It was my first day with Robin and everything, and I got out of the van and I was like, Sue, where did you get Robin? Because
it was like she's a legend.
a legend is right.
SNL, SCTV, like a legend.
Yeah, and when you're working with a legend, you got to pony up.
That's
So
right.
just get it done. And I mean, the dynamic between Sue and I, or Jamie and Davy Danger, was that of a very dysfunctional but very
yeah.
credible relationship that sometimes people get themselves into. Like, you can't help who you love, right? So
Yeah.
I think we did our
Yeah,
best.
yeah. Yeah. So I think my last question, we can start from, I think, the left, and one by one, if I could just hear from each one of you that one single scene in the film that is just your absolute favorite for whatever reason. It can be too funny, it can be touching, it can be emotional. Yeah.
Who started?
Who's on the left?
Oh, God.
Hopefully,
My left, or maybe, like anybody. I think
That-
that would be you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right.
If I had to pick a favorite scene, it would be when Anne comes to the loft and gives Jamie a super hard time, and Travis is also there. I really love that scene.
Oh yeah,
All
Kenny
right.
Robinson.
Yes.
We only had for
Oh
one
my
scene,
God.
but just absolutely elevated the film with that one scene that he was part of. He was amazing.
All right. Okay. Now, if you could go next, I think.
Me? Okay, I might have a couple. I liked one. I liked where Robin was yelling at Sue in the loft because it kind of made a change to the film. I felt like because it was like comic and like a comedy and like a dark comedy and stuff like this, but that scene between the two of them was really sort of true, like from a mother's perspective to a struggling child's perspective. So I thought that was really raw and really fantastic. And then I also liked it when we were making plans to break into her mother's house and steal all of her stuff in the bar. And I said, if we're going to do this, we need to have a shot and get our heads straight. So that might be my favorite too.
All right. Okay.
I also have a few favorites, but I think the dinner scene with Laura, Steve, and Jamie is a very different scene than anything else in the movie, but it feels very, again, Sue's like brilliant writing. It really sets up the trajectory of the movie and lets us know who we're dealing with. And we've already met Anne and Davy by this point, but that scene I think is just so well written, and I've never laughed so much in my life. That was the second last scene that we shot. And watching Emma and Susan just rake Jonathan Torrens over the wall, it was deeply uncomfortable and hilarious, and yeah, that was so exciting, and it's really exciting to watch. And then the final scene of the movie, where she finds actually like leading it from I guess I'm ruining the movie now, but the ending scene of having some sort of a resolution between Anne and Jamie. And I think hopefully a surprising resolution, and then seeing Jamie reclaim her home. I definitely cried when we shot that moment, and I kind of get emotional every time. I really love that scene.
All right.
I love
Thank you.
the scene with Jonathan and Jamie, Steve and Jamie, after they've slept together, and the shame that Jamie, you can just feel it. And I think that for me was the turning point in the film for her, that, she's sort of realizing this isn't right, this isn't who I want to be. And so that was one of my favorite scenes. That was great. And all the fighting stuff. Hair pulling. Oh, that's so much fun. Hair pulling. That was Jamie. I mean, that's really
Mom. It's hard to pick a favorite. It really is. I loved all of them. Two of my favorites got cut. I guess I'll say the dinner scene, because it was when I was writing it, I was like, this is really, it's it feels like the center of the wheel, and like all the spokes of the various trajectories that happen in the film are sort of birthed in that scene. But it was very difficult, and I'd written Emma really like insane material. Like, who says my superpower is withholding? Like, I was so indulged during my whole life that my superpower is, and it's like I'm writing it going like, oh, this is gonna have to be changed, because like, how does anyone? And then Emma comes in and not only deals with the very, very difficult text, but also makes it completely believable, and seems like she's having the fucking best time coming in. And there were so many improvs during that while we were doing it. And we went in, there was a cold, it was our last day. We went into this cold house. We're shooting in a house, so every door has to be open so that all the gear and everything, the electrics, the cables can be pulled through. So it's freezing, and there was a couple people from PEI government there, and I was like, oh great.
Premier's there.
The premier's there, and we're like doing like the hello, and then it's like we're talking about, you can hire a woman to have sex with because I'm a busy woman, whatever. So it was, and it just was so, it came out unbelievably well. I mean, that scene could have honestly probably been 20 minutes long. There was so much good. There was so much good material in there.
It was originally.
Was it?
It was, yeah, it was really long.
Yeah.
Because it was so hard to cut.
Right, because it's unbelievable, and then Jonathan's unbelievable. And so again, sorry, I'm going to say another one, and I could pick everyone and have a reason why, but the other one I'm going to choose is when we're in actually both of the jail visit scenes are so different because no one's moving. We're in this very static environment, and the transition, the way the relationships completely change for everybody between she and Davy, or change in a way, but also the problems are reinforced but with higher stakes. And just sitting across from Robin while we were shooting that scene was like a masterclass. Like her ability to go from these extremely, comical, but always grounded, like crying, oh, my child, and like really fucking landing it, and tears coming down. And I was like, awestruck, but then also I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, you can't laugh. The camera's on it. We only have time. Like, poor Kevin's got we got one kick at this. We don't have enough time to do this. And it was just like, I couldn't get over it. And then again with Dan, when Davy Danger comes to visit her, and the scene was written a certain way, and I always really loved it. But then Dan started to do all this really rich, vulnerable stuff that I hadn't anticipated, and he and I are locked in, and suddenly both of our eyes are burning pink, and it was just like, it just felt great. So yeah, those.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so mine is a dinner scene as well, but for a different reason. So this will be interesting for your podcast. This is the reason. It's because, so Laura is this woman who's sort of the antithesis of Jamie. Jamie wears like hot red, and like you can sort of tell that Jamie smells a bit through the film. Like my ice is marble and my linen is like, I smell like Aveda, and she smells like, ass and cigs and party, I think.
Cigs and ass, man.
Yourself with club soda, right? This place you go. And then Laura's clearly this woman who has made a lot of good decisions and has her life together. And usually somebody who has made it doesn't need to just dunk so hard on her friend who hasn't. And dynamic,
Mm.
especially just as a woman in film and television, to get a script like that where it just lets you just be a bitch, but with like all this like genuine female energy that's of like success and just unapologetic. She's just insecure, right? Jamie is beautiful and free and represents all the things that she's not. So even though emblematically it looks like this is the winner, she's still like, I'm just gonna need you to feel bad about yourself. She's like, well, I'm gonna need you to feel bad about yourself. And then we're drunk, we're making fun of a man. It was just gorgeous. But the other scene that I think needs to be said is the driving scene. Because as somebody who has to drive in TV shows, it is very important in film. It's very important that you hit the mark. And if you don't hit the mark, everything goes to hell. So you're in the car and you have like 6 transpo guys like, you're gonna start the car, you're gonna go fast, then you're gonna stop. And I'm like, let's go. So the scene when Jamie's walking and the car comes up and I'm like, come on, come on. And then it hits it and I didn't go too fast and I hit the brake. I just, as an actress, I'm like, I don't use a stunt double, let's be driving.
I'm gonna pick Stiletto, and I think the like hot slow-mo walk, the jealousy, that whole thing was so fantastic. And shout out to Charlene, our producer, for bringing the community of Charlottetown, the queer community, the drag queens, Jimbo the drag clown, which was like so special. The star power in the room at that moment with a bunch of people who had never been on a film set before, along with a bunch of people who had. It was just really special. It just felt really special. And the scene is awesome as well, but like the feeling was really special too.
I'll just chime in.
Right.
You can't see me. Well, here I am.
Hey, hi.
That was my favorite scene too, and for those reasons. I think the impact that young folks on Prince Edward Island will experience and be inspired to make their own movie has always been at the forefront of our motivation. I think we remind ourselves on the hard days, like, but the kids, like, we're doing this for the kids. And it would have meant the world to me if there was a movie being made in my hometown when I was that age that I could aspire to and find my people, earlier than right now. I'm happy to have found them, but I think that the ripple effect in our home will be felt for years and years. And that means the world.
So great answer.
One thing I'm going to say all day.
Do it for the kids.
Yeah, the kids and the queers.
Kids
Yeah.
and the queers.
Yeah. What else is there?
Bill, do you have one?
All right. So I think I said everybody has got a chance to tell their favorite scenes, right? Like nobody's left out, I'm sure. Like,
Bill?
Why did you go? You love this movie.
What?
all right. So thank you. All right.
Canadian film and TV is having a massive moment right now. Heated Rivalry, Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, The Snake. I think most around the world to do and then trades. And everyone give their plugs real quick. 99% of movies would have this show where it works out with Steve, and Davey Danger is the one they shouldn't do. But Jenna and the cast and Sue's writing just really landed the plane on this something. And for something to stand out from a country like Canada, you have to be daring to find and different. And that's the stream that South by put us in, which we were very proud, among other things, is that we do think that you will relate to this story, but it will surprise you 12 times in a way that I just don't think other people make that choice. So we're very excited about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been great. Like I said, I loved watching the film. Never a dull moment. Very engaging. Love all of you. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.